Hello and welcome, viewers, to another excellent episode of Sage's Light Bulbs, where today we will be examining this Lithonia lighting dual Circline fixture. Now, I acquired this from a local store for a total of $3 because, well, for one, it's kind of ratty, and for two, it has a crack here, so that's unfortunate. However, it's cool inside. But on the outside, I really give Lithonia like a D- for nice light fixture. I mean, this thing is really kind of ugly, and no matter how you put it there, and also it's very large, more so than it needs to be, because it uses Circline bulbs and it's a square. So not really sure what they were thinking with that one. So on the top, it's just this big globe. And then on the bottom, there's not much to see down here other than lots and lots of different screws. Interestingly, it is rated for damp locations, so perhaps this was in a bathroom originally. Now, to remove our top case here, you take these little levers, there's 4 of them, and you push them back. This is a good design if you ask me, however the levers are so obviously flimsy that I have concerns as to the longevity of this mechanism. And now we can see that that is not the original ballast configuration. So the first thing that you can notice, and it's very difficult to see, but when the bulbs are out it's quite obvious, is that I think there's quite a few hours on this fixture, judging by the yellowing of the paint beneath the bulbs. And they do get quite hot, hotter than you would expect. Now, the original ballast was an electronic ballast, and it was in the middle, right here. And this is a 32-watt tube, and this is a 40-watt tube. And that was their way of powering them. However, the electronic ballast did not function when I got the fixture, and I took it apart and actually repaired a bad solder joint or two, and it still did not work. So I think somebody used this thing until it stopped working and then took it to a thrift store so they could sell a broken light fixture. However, we were not going to let that stop us. So I grabbed a F40 T12 ballast for 2 lamps, and that is a magnetic ballast, so it's quite heavy and it should last 4 decades or so. And I threw that in there because each F40 T12 tube is rated at 40 watts. And this is 40 watts, and this is 32 watts. And so the way I see it, we are going to be overdriving these tubes slightly. However, it's a lot better than having them not work at all, and also they seem to work without a hitch. The ballast itself here is just a standard rapid start. Got that for $3 at the same place. It's a Sylvania. You can see I reballasted inside my name and stuff, because I was quite proud of this. Now I'm going to plug it in a darker location, so that we can watch it in its full glory. Okay, friends, so here we are in the bathroom once more to plug in our light fixture. And so let's do that. And I expect it to be quite bright, being that it consumes between 72 and 85 watts with that big magnetic ballast in there. 72 being what it would originally have consumed, 85 being what it would probably consume now, accounting for ballast loss. So 3, 2, 1. You can see the rapid start come on there, and as I had expected, it is quite bright, and the tubes are illuminated fully, no problems there. So you can see here that ballasts don't have to be quite an exact match, although particularly with the smaller tube, the life may be shortened slightly because of the higher wattage than designed. It does hum some. Last night I had it on for a couple hours and it was very hot. However, I think that is normal operation, and that would corroborate that because of the stained paint from the heat. So let me do that one more time, just for fun. 3, 2, 1. So a little resistant to come on, but it does just fine. And that magnetic ballast should last, I guess, probably 4 times as long as the little electronic one, which I was really quite disappointed in, honestly. So now I'm going to install the cover, the refraction cover, and see how it looks with that on there. now the refractive cover has been replaced onto the fixture, and we will enlighten it now. So immediately it is more pleasant to look at. However, the loss of light from this cover is significant. And so perhaps if you're in an area kind of like an industrial workshop or something, other than a house, you might actually be better off operating it with the cover off for both cooling purposes and light purposes. However, if you're in a house, I definitely think that that is going to be something you're going to need to make it look presentable at all. So, to conclude, if you find a space that needs a light like this, that is kind of ugly, this is a great candidate because it uses the same amount of power and produces about the same amount of brightness as two linear tubes in this compact little square here. And also, with that new magnetic ballast, it's going to last for some time. That said, the original electronic ballast was very short-lived and disappointing, so if you do get one of these and it does still have the electronic ballast, be prepared to reballast that with a magnetic one, or not magnetic one, just a replacement. And just to be clear here, the 4-pin Circline bulbs, you got 4 pins, 2 on each side are for the filaments on each side of the fluorescent bulb, so you wire it just like you would a tube with those 2 sets of 2 pins on each side. So, being rated for moist spaces, this would be a good candidate for kitchens and bathrooms, although I would discourage it in bathrooms because the frequent on-off cycle is inconvenient for the user and bad for the bulbs and ballast. So I would recommend this in an area where it would get left on for a fairly long period of time. With that, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I am going on vacation soon, so this might be my last video for a while. Have a good day, and goodbye.